welcome back to the channel, guys. So on today's video, we're gonna be trying to relocate the fuse box to where the battery was. I currently have my battery in the trunk, and I'm gonna try to put the fuse box in that location. So let's jump right into it. Okay, guys. So pretty much we have the fuse box out here with all the wire harness. I'm just gonna go over everything. I already took it out. I kind of started the video late. After I already took everything out, I decided to do the video. So I'm just gonna quickly go over everything as far as taking out the fuse box. That's pretty simple. It's not rocket science. So we have the fuse box itself here. We have this harness. This harness is the one that goes inside the car on the passenger side. So you pretty much have to unplug everything from inside. These what's this, 5 plugs. You got to unplug those and pull it through the passenger side firewall. So that's for this harness right here. These 2 are for the ECU, nothing crazy. Right here you have the stuff for the passenger side light. So that's the headlight, the fog light, parking light, these ground straps right here that goes below the headlight. This is for the ambient sensor and the hood release, or the hood latch. So nothing crazy there. You have to unplug all of those. This part of the harness is pretty much the part that, if you guys know, that goes either in front or behind the intercooler. For that part, pretty much all I did, instead of having to take everything off, yeah, I don't have an engine in here, so that's why I'm deciding to move the fuse box. I got bored. So pretty much what I did, I released the radiator support brackets, and I just slide the harness up and out of here, so I didn't have to remove the intercooler and all that stuff. The bumper was off, so I don't have to remove the intercooler and all that stuff to get the harness out. Next, we have this part of the harness, and this right here is for, you got the driver's side headlight, you got the grounds on the driver's side, and this is for the ABS sensor on the driver's side. This part of the harness right here is the harness that goes right here. That's the one that runs along the driver's side wheel well, or inner wheel well. Okay, so that's right here. That's this part of the harness, looking a little bit dark. And then we have these plugs right here. That's for the ABS module. This is for the windshield wiper motor, so you have to unplug that. And then these 2 goes to the one goes to the master cylinder for the brake. I don't remember what the other one goes to, but I mean, you'll see it. I think the other one goes to the brake booster, I think. Let me look. Yeah, so you got one to the master cylinder and one to the brake booster. So that's these 2. You gotta unplug those. And then this goes inside to the driver's side. So on this plug you have the brake switch, accelerator pedal, and then these 2 other plugs. I don't remember what I unplugged these for, but once you follow them. And then this is for the driver's side wheel well. So all these go inside on the driver's side. So you unplug all of those, pull them through, snake them out, and you'll be able to take the whole fuse box out of the car. And that's what we have there. So once you have the whole fuse box out, then comes the fun part. Alright guys, so I did couple routing of the fuse box and the harness off camera, just to try to find the best route and the most efficient route without having to cut a lot of wires. And I believe this is the best route that I've found so far. So let's take a look. Alright, so the first thing I did was this little hole here in the battery box. So this is where we are. We're by the battery box. This little hole here, I cut it out a little bit larger. I'll put some pics of how it was before. So I basically just cut it out so we could fit the harness and all the plugs and everything through it. And this is how I plan on mounting the fuse box in here, like that. I'll have a screw right there, self-tapping screw there, and a self-tapping screw there, and that will hold it up pretty good. So all the harness is through that little hole. The box will be able to open here. I'll have to trim that a little bit, which is not a big deal. So the box will be able to open there. So let's jump and take a look at the harnesses. So you come down to the wheel well, and basically it comes out there. That's the inner fender, inner wheel well. So we have that harness, the one for inside, which I showed you guys earlier. So that goes inside with a lot of room. That's the length on that is more than enough. So the rest of the harness I'm gonna be strapping somewhere pretty much along here. It comes along there, and then it goes here. So we come along there and we go inside here. Now I do not have a sway bar, so this is basically where the sway bar would have been, and that's where I'm going inside. This normally comes on the outside and goes around and goes over to the other side. So we're pretty much taking a shorter route by going in front of the intercooler, condenser, and radiator. So we're coming here. All of these wires for the driver's side headlight, fog light, parking light, all of those will reach without having to extend any of those. ABS plug is fine. The headlight plug on this side is fine. I will have to extend this one. This is for the fan. So that's there, and that needs to be there. So I got to extend this one a couple of inches. Maybe it looks like about 10-12 inches. Got to extend this one. This is for the ECM, PCM computer. This is for that, and this is the other one for that. I'm probably gonna be mounting the PCM somewhere here, but I'm gonna wait until I put the engine in for doing that, because this harness goes to the engine, to the injectors and everything on the engine. So I want to put that first so I see exactly where it is before I mount the ECU, which is not a big deal. The ECU is pretty small, so it should mount here without having any issue with the tire. So as far as extending, again, this one I'm gonna have to extend. I'm also gonna have to extend this one, and this plug is the one that goes to the fuse box. So you see that? That's the one that goes there. So that's pretty much a ways off. So that one I'm gonna extend. I'm gonna extend it pretty much this way. I'm not going inside the engine bay. I'm just gonna extend it here, go along there, and go back up inside, and I'll be able to plug that in, no issues. So far that's 2 wires. We gotta extend this, got to extend this. That's for the fan. This one is the plug for the fuse box. Got to also extend this. This is on the fuse box. This is the AC pressure switch, so that one goes here. I'm gonna extend this, and again, I'm not extending it inside. I'm gonna put it under and extend it on the outside and come up here. Extend it on the outside, come up here, and plug in right there. So far that's 3 wires. And again, just to recap for you guys, that's the fan control. Gonna extend that, heavy gauge wires. So I'm gonna try to find all these wires the same gauge. And that's what, 4 wires there. This one that goes to the fuse box, we have 2, 4, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 wires. So we got 9 wires on this, 4 wires on this. The fan switch we got to extend. That's 3 wires. All of these plug up. This one, I'm gonna just reroute it a little bit better so it's not stretching, but this one reaches. That's for the airbag sensor. We have also there the hood latch that reaches, no problem. What else we got here? Now this is the one for the battery. These power wires, these three, my battery's in the trunk, so remember that. This is a ground wire. So this will be able to go anywhere with good ground around here. You don't have to extend that. These three power wires that go to the fuse box, I'm gonna have to extend those too. So here we go, these three, and those go right here. 1, 2, 3. Gonna have to extend those back up there. Most of you would have extended these already, depending on how you run your wires for the factory, to have it here in this location, the fuse box. I didn't extend mine because I kind of rerouted the wire away where I didn't have to. So most of you might have those extended already. You might have to cut them and re-extend them if you're going through this step. So again, to recap, on this side we got this one going to the fuse box, 9 wires. We got this one going to the fan, that's 4 wires. We got the AC pressure switch that we have to extend, that's 3 wires. We got the 3 power wires here that we have to extend. Okay, everybody with me so far? So we're good there. This is the plug. This plug goes also on this loom. That's the power, the one for the power. So that one plugs up over there and don't have to extend anything on that. So we got 1, 2, 3 plugs and 3 wires so far that we have to extend. All right. So this is an inside view of where the harness is gonna come in. So right here, as I said, I don't have the sway bar. So these 2 holes is normally where the sway bar would have been bolted down. So that's where I'm planning on running the harness. So I'm coming there, I'm gonna strap it down here on the cross member going across. I'm gonna put some more loom and strap it down with some tie straps, zip ties. Okay, so we go across there. You guys see that? Bob, bob, bob. That should be way out of the way of the engine. So normally, as I mentioned before earlier, the wire harness comes here and it goes here and it goes up under here and it goes inside. It goes up under here, it splits, and it goes inside all over the place. So what I'm doing, I'm keeping everything out of the engine bay just for a cleaner look. So when we come across here, you guys can see that I'm going outside. So we come outside here, and this is pretty much where it comes. Yeah, pretty much that's where it comes out. See it right there, it comes out there. So all of these, this is driver side headlight. I think I said driver side over there, but I meant passenger side. So driver side, headlight, parking light, all of that reaches. Don't have to extend anything. Same thing here. We got the horn that plugs up. We got the airbag sensor on this side that plugs up also. You don't have to extend anything. It pretty much uses all the factory little holders that were there, right? This is for the mass airflow sensor that plugs in the engine bay, that reaches, and this is for the traction thing that you unplug for the traction control. Okay, so that's for the mass airflow, plugs in the engine bay, that reaches. I'm just hanging it here. This is for the traction control, the one that usually mounts right here. So all of those reaches, all of those are here. I'm just hanging them down. Here we go. All right, the ground straps normally go there. Those reach, not a big deal. And that's pretty much how I have it. All right, so the harness comes out. Again, it's the same area where the sway bar would have came out. I'm just using that area. If you do have a sway bar, it shouldn't be an issue. It should be able to run it just the same as I did. It's a lot easier because I don't have the sway bar. Okay. All right, so wire comes up and we go in the same way as the other side. We're going just along the frame rail all the way back. Now remember, this harness used to be on the inside. We're going on the outside of the frame wheel. Let's get you guys a better view. Get the bumper out of the way. So here we go. So we come along the frame rail. I did loosen that 10mm bolt right there, just so I could get the harness to go behind that tube. That's the purge, the evap tube that goes to the purge canister. So we got the harness split. The part that goes inside goes back inside. Everything reaches. Everything is plugged up inside without having to extend any wires. And then we have the other section of the wire that goes into the engine bay. So as you guys can see, we got that coming into the engine bay right there, and everything plugs up here. We had the plug for the, you guys can't see because I got a bunch of shit right here, but everything plugs up for the ABS module on that side. Everything plugs up for the ABS module. We have the booster, the plug on the booster. We have the plug on the master cylinder, and the plug for the windshield wiper motor, which goes here and goes under here. Yep, pretty much. So we have everything on this side, on the driver's side, plugs in without having to cut or extend any wires. I'll drop some pictures. I'll take some pictures and kind of drop of how everything is routed. But again, it's pretty simple. So I was surprised. Like I said, I tried several different routing, and this is the best one that I found to cut the least amount of wires. So we got the fuse box there. And again, just to recap as far as what we have to cut and extend, I got these. That's 9 wires that's going to the fuse box. I'm gonna cut this, extend this, go up there. We got the 3 power wires that goes to the fuse box. I'm gonna cut and extend those. We got the AC pressure switch. Need to cut and extend that. And that's basically it. So that's 1, 2, 3 plugs and 3 wires. So you're looking at a total of, let's see, this is 9 wires and 4 here, that's 13. And then this one has 3, so that's 16. And then these 3, that's 19. So you're looking at a total of 19 wires that you gotta cut and extend. Oh, that's for the headlight. Okay, yeah, you're looking at a total of 19 wires that you gotta cut and extend. Oh, I forgot about this. This one is for the ambient temperature sensor, which normally mounts there. Doesn't reach. The sensor is pretty easy to move. It just needs to sense the outside temperature so your AC climate control could work properly. For that, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to extend the wires, 2 wires, if I'm going to extend the plug, or if I'm just going to move the sensor towards the plug. I haven't decided yet, but again, that's 2 wires, and that's pretty simple. If you guys don't have AC, then you don't need to worry about that. If you have AC and you want the climate control and also your little sensor inside that tells you the temperature for outside, that part you would definitely need to extend those 2. So again, without those, you're looking at 19 wires. With those, that's 21 wires. That's cake. I mean, that's pretty simple. And the routing is pretty stealth. You know, you're not gonna have any wires in the engine bay. Like I said, for this one, this is for the PCM, ECU, and this one also. They reach right here. I didn't really want to extend any of those because I don't want to cut any of those wires, create any additional resistance or anything like that that might cause an issue in the future. So I'm just gonna leave the ECU in this location, which is definitely gonna be fine. And once I have the engine routed and everything plugged up, then I'll know exactly where this wire falls, and then I'll pretty much just work with that routing. So that's pretty much it, guys. I pretty much did all the hard work as far as taking the harness out and trying to find the best route. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'll drop as much pictures, and I'll pretty much drop a little bit of instructions in the description also. But 19 wires, 21 if you count the ambient sensor. That's cake, guys. That's pretty easy. I heard guys talking about that to extend like 100 and something wires. I really didn't want to go that way. That's a lot of wires, and that's a lot of room for error. So I tried several different routing, several different location, and this pretty much to me seems like the best and more efficient one, with the least amount of wires being cut. So I'm just gonna jump into, I don't need to show you guys how to cut and extend wires. You guys should know that, hopefully. So pretty much that's gonna end it for this video. Like I said, I'll drop some pictures and I'll drop some instructions in the description for you guys.